Hey, I wish I'd had a golf coach that taught me these 4 things that I'm going to show you today. I didn't turn pro until I was 30. If I'd have learned this sooner, you probably would have seen me on television. These 4 things transformed my game, and I think they'll transform your game too. As I've said many times, I think the #1 fundamental in golf is being the correct distance away from the ball. And that's really difficult to do because you've got up to 14 clubs in your bag and you're a different distance away from all of them. And if you learn to set up to the club and not to the ball, it will really help. And so I like just to sole the club behind the ball. This is a 7-iron. And this end of the club, an extension of it should point at my belt buckle. For men, that's about an inch below their belly button. So ladies, your belt buckle will be higher than that, so it should point an inch below your belly button. But if I can get set up here in this position, I can then take some measurements. And for me, if I lower the handle down, the club's going to hit me right above the hem of my shorts. And that's a really good measurement for most players. If you're too close to the ball, this will hit you up here. And as I've said many times before, when I was young and learning to play, almost every instructor would tell you that you couldn't get too close to the ball. But I think for most players that I see that are slicers especially, being too close to the ball is probably your most fundamental mistake. So learn to get the correct distance away from the ball. I promise you it'll really help. If a player is too close to the ball, they can do the backswing fundamentals correctly. But one of my other fundamentals that I really stress with a lot of students is on my through swing, the club is correct when the shaft is parallel to the ground and parallel to the target line. And for really good players, that also corresponds with their heel line because your hips will turn a lot more on the follow through. And so this club will swing over here in this direction. And so if I'm too close to the ball, I can do the backswing correct, but my body's in the way and the club will always swing away from me and steeply, and that'll leave the club behind you at impact like this. And that's really the main cause for most slicers that I see. It's also a position for some really good players that hit hooks, is they're swinging too far to the right, and if they can close their face at impact, that's how they hit snap hooks. So this fundamental position of after impact, swinging the club over to here, parallel to the ground and parallel to the target line, is really, really, really important. So that's fundamental #2. After being the correct distance away, we're going to swing the club around us in a circle, and that'll really help. I have a lot of students that come to me that have a lot of instructors that are telling them to swing the club to right field or to first base. And I don't like that either. From here to the ball, the club should be swinging to the right. But once we make impact, this club should swing in a circle around us and finish over here. So if you're one of those that are hitting duck hooks or block slices and trying to swing to right field, that's a mistake in my opinion, and you should understand that the club should swing towards the right as it's approaching the ball, but it should swing to left field or third base after impact. And is that easy to learn to do? No, it's not, but if you have the correct concept, it'll really help you. The third fundamental that I watch almost immediately when I see a new player is once I see that they're set up in a relatively good position and they have a relatively good hold on the club, I check to see what the club face looks like on the way back and where the shaft is. Is the club face like this? Is the club face like this? Both are mistakes. Is the shaft in here too much? Is the shaft over here too much? So one of the very fundamental checkpoints for all of you is that whenever the shaft is parallel to the ground, it should also be parallel to your target line. Is there room for error there? Obviously there is. I mean, if a player's just slightly inside on the way back, I don't think it's that big a deal. If it's slightly outside on the way back, I don't think it's a big deal. But I see lots of players where the club's like this on the backswing, and they're going to have a very difficult time impacting the ball correctly. So check this backswing position. We've got a little shoulder tilt as we set up to the ball forward. So I like having the leading edge of the club matching my spine angle on the way back. I believe that's square. And so I want the club to be square. The final checkpoint that I look for is where a player is on the top of their backswing. Is the club pointing up in the air? Is the face pointing back here on this side back here? Gosh, this is the worst position to be in if your club face looks like this on the way back. That is wide open, and you're in 7/10 of a second that it takes to get to the ball from here. It's gonna be impossible for you to hit the ball with a square club face. So you can check this in a mirror, you can check this with your own video camera, but boy, pretty good checkpoint here, and then a pretty good checkpoint back here that the club face looks like this on your backswing. Not like this, not like this. This would be shut. So I have a lot of players that come to me that hook the ball badly, and they're in this position at the top of their backswing. They hit their short irons pretty good because they have a lot of loft, but they pretty much can't hit any other club. I see a lot of women, beginner women, that get in this position as well at the top of the backswing, and that's a killer. They can't get the ball airborne. Everything goes low left, or they top it because they can't get the club. Their hands won't work properly on the way down to strike the turf and the ball correctly. So, in summary, we want to learn to be the correct distance away from the ball. We don't want to be too far, and we don't want to be too close. Learn to set up to the club. Learn that as the club swings on your follow-through, it should be parallel to the ground, parallel to the target line in this position over here. It should be parallel to the ground, parallel to the target line on my backswing. And we want to have a square club face back here at the top of our backswing. If we can be square halfway back and we can be square at the top of the backswing, we've got a pretty good chance with no manipulation of the club to be square at impact. Hey, I've just spent just a few minutes talking about a few basic fundamentals. We've put together a course that will really go into detail on each of these positions, step by step, a checklist that you can follow and diagnose your issues in the golf swing. There's a link down below. It's got a money-back guarantee if you don't think it helps your game, and I think it'll help all of you. Hey, if you've enjoyed this quick video, we produced one a year or so ago called 30 Years of Golf Knowledge in 57 Minutes that really goes into details in all of these fundamentals and many more. Check it out.